Husband wanted, must be handsome, wealthy, and can satisfy me on bed, Simbi said. Simbi is a very rich, beautiful girl from a wealthy family. She had all she needed and inherited a large amount of money from her late father. As she was an only child, Simbi was spoiled and got everything she wanted. Unlike her father, Simbi was very stingy and wicked to others in the village. She would buy luxury items and lavish money everywhere. But because Simbi's father was a kind man, the villagers hoped that she would soon change. But that was not it, because as Simbi grew to become a woman, her situation became worse. She even had an added problem: she cannot be satisfied. She hated different men in the village, yet none could satisfy her. She was already getting old, so her mother and her sisters started disturbing her and forcing her to get married. But Simbi said, "No man in this village deserves to have me. They are all church rats to me. They cannot even satisfy me in bed. I know the men in this village. They cannot perform well." Her mother was shocked and shunned her. She told her that there is no perfect man. Find a man or you will end up being a lonely woman. Because the pressure was too much, Simbi decided to get married. But what she did shocked the entire villagers. Simbi wrote on a billboard announcing her interest to get married, and she wrote boldly, "Husband wanted, must be handsome, wealthy, and can satisfy me on bed." She paid people to post this everywhere in the village. People were shocked, and they were asking, how can a sane woman make such an announcement? But Simbi was serious. She announced that the men come for an interview so she could test if they meet her requirements. Though what Simbi did was ridiculous, people applied because she was beautiful, wealthy, and had a very nice shape. Men kept falling for her despite her bad attitude. So on the day of the interview, different men flooded their compound, men of different class and complexion. The rich and the handsome came, and the poor came to try their luck, saying if they do not have money, maybe they could satisfy her on bed. The interview included the men explaining the amount of wealth they had and how much their net worth was. They even had an examination section where they checked the size of their penis. The examination section was so crazy that some people backed out, but some other people continued. And finally, Simbi saw a qualified candidate, or so the villagers thought. The lucky man was named Adeleke. Adeleke is from a very wealthy family, and he was so dashing and handsome. Many thought that Simbi chose him because of his fine face and his wealth. The big wedding finally happened, and the almighty selective Simbi got married to Adeleke. Though he was very rich, he was not as rich as Simbi. Like her, he inherited his wealth from his family. So they agreed to tie the knot and start a life together because Adeleke liked her too. Everything was lovely and bright at first. Their home was large and inviting, and they enjoyed good times and delicious food together. But things began to fall apart between Simbi and Adeleke after they seemed to be perfect for each other. First, it started with Simbi being too controlling and demanding. It was common for Simbi to insist on doing things her own way whenever Adeleke suggested doing them, expressing her belief that she should be in charge because of the money she had. One day, Adeleke went on a trip. Before he left, he told Simbi to stay home until he got back, but she didn't listen. She went to hang out with her friends and they traveled far, hanging out with other men. When he got back, the house was quiet and empty. When he asked their maid where Simbi was, she said she had gone to hang out with her friends. Unknown to him, Simbi had already met other men and is now seeing Adeleke as a man who can't perform well. Adeleke had to wait for 3 days before Simbi came back. Adeleke was angry and asked Simbi, "Where did you go?" Simbi didn't like the question and said, "Why do you ask? I can go wherever I want." They fought loudly and for a long time. Adeleke told Simbi, "Respect me, I am still the head of this family." But Simbi didn't agree. She was mad and said, "I don't need to listen to you. No man can control my life. I get to say how my life goes. Moreover, you can't even satisfy me." Adeleke was so hurt by that particular insult. To Simbi, it might have been a simple insult, but to Adeleke, this was an insult to his identity as a man. Before he knew it, Simbi packed her things and left Adeleke, telling him that she had found another man that could satisfy her. People in the village were shocked. How could the perfect Simbi and Adeleke separate so fast? People in the village talked about Simbi and Adeleke and wondered what would happen next. Simbi's mother was also very sad. She tried to talk to Simbi that marriage isn't about being satisfied in bed, that with understanding, they can make their marriage work. But Simbi was not having it. Her problem was more than being satisfied on bed. She also wanted to control the man. She announced to her mother that she had seen the perfect man for her, who would satisfy her and give her whatever she wanted. But her mother warned her that if she left Adeleke, that is how she would leave other men because she can never be satisfied. But Simbi turned a deaf ear. This new man Simbi met was Emeka. Although Emeka is not as rich as Adeleke, he knew how to treat Simbi well. He would cook for her, wash, clean the house, and give Simbi whatever she needed. According to Simbi, he let Emeka marry her because he was good in bed. Emeka tried his best to please Simbi. At first, she was so happy and she felt like she was blessed, but that could only last for a while. Simbi was very controlling and didn't even care about Emeka's genuine feelings. Emeka loved her, and so he tried to endure. He made delicious meals, cleaned the house until it shined, and even rubbed Simbi's feet after a long day. With the little money he had, he would sometimes buy Simbi pretty clothes and tell her, "I just want you to smile, Simbi." Simbi loved it for a while, but because she felt like a queen and wanted to control him, it was like Simbi was the husband and Emeka was the wife. Simbi soon felt like something was missing. She saw Emeka wasn't making money because he spent his days making sure that she was happy and cleaning the house. But Simbi said to herself, this fancy house needs money to stay the way it is. She thought Emeka was nice, caring and good in bed, but he lacked the strength to make money. He never helped the family with much. All he did was to try to please her and clean the house, Simbi thought to herself. One night, she told Emeka, "Emeka, you're a very kind guy, and I know that you treat me very well. But your kindness doesn't feed our family or keep this house running. Take a look at me now. I'm a high-class babe, but we need money to maintain this beauty and luxury we are living in." Emeka kept quiet, not knowing what to say. To him, he has offered the best he can. She has the money and he takes good care of the house and makes sure she's happy. Why ask for more? Emeka asked himself. Simbi sat down in the sitting room thinking about what her mother said. You have to decide if you want Emeka's kindness or someone who brings money. A man who cares for you all day and night would not have much time to work, her mother told her. Simbi thought about this for a long time and finally decided, I need more money, not just kindness or being good in bed. That night, he called out to Emeka, You need to leave. You are not the husband I need. Emeka was shocked, but he packed his things and left. Simbi was alone again. Her big house had everything she wanted, but she wasn't happy. She missed Emeka's care and everything he offered her, but she also needed money to maintain her luxurious lifestyle. The villagers did what they knew how to do best, gossip. They talked about Simbi all day, asking what do Simbi even want. She's alone again. Who is the next unfortunate man she will marry? They talked and laughed. After Emeka left, Simbi felt so lonely until she met a man called Musa. Musa seemed like a dream come true. He was handsome, wealthy, kind, caring, and good in bed. Simbi thought, wow, Musa is just the perfect man. So they got married, and it seemed she had finally found her dream man. Musa showered Simbi with beautiful gifts, took her to exciting places, and always ensured her happiness. Their house was filled with laughter and joy, and Simbi felt so lucky. However, over time, things began to change. Musa remained kind, but Simbi started taking him for granted. She stopped saying please or thank you, didn't cook or clean because she thought to herself, well, Musa loves me, so I don't need to do these things. When Musa's family and friends visited, Simbi was distant and rude, neglecting to greet or even smile at them. She didn't visit or help his parents, believing they could care for themselves. Musa's parents noticed Simbi's behavior and spoke to him, emphasizing that a wife should be kind and respectful to both her husband and his family. They were displeased and insisted that Simbi wasn't right for the family. Musa was saddened, but he knew that his family was right. He loved Simbi, but also valued and respects kindness. He told her one day, we can't be together if you don't respect me and my family. Simbi was shocked, but Musa had made up his mind. If Simbi was not going to respect him and his family, then she can't live in the house. One day, Musa sent her packing. She thought he was joking till she asked the security guard to send her out. She packed her things and returned to her village alone. Simbi thought about Musa. He had everything she ever wanted. She began to realize, maybe I need to be a better wife too. But it was too late for her and Musa. When Simbi returned to her village after leaving Musa, she was met with a big surprise. A flood had destroyed all of her house, including the wells, the farm, and yam barn they had. Suddenly, Simbi didn't have all the money, the big house, her luxury items, everything. She lost everything. Simbi and her mother had to leave their big house and move into a smaller hut. Simbi was sad because she missed her soft bed, her shiny things, and the pretty clothes she wore. She now wore simple dresses and helped her mother cook whatever food they could find while living in the small hut. Simbi began to think a lot. She remembered Adeleke, Emeka, and Musa and how she had behaved with them. And she said to herself, I had 3 good husbands, but I wasn't a good wife. I wanted to control Adeleke, and I didn't even appreciate Emeka's kindness. And now I didn't even respect Musa or his family. Now I am all alone. It became clear to Simbi that she had been looking for the right husband without giving much thought to what it means to be a good wife. In her small hut, Simbi realized, I didn't share or help. I only thought about what I wanted. It took Simbi some time to learn how to live with less. She began talking to her neighbors, whom she had ignored when she was rich. They were kind and shared their food and stories with her. Simbi also started helping others, sharing what little she had with her mother. Her heart began to change. She learned to say please and thank you, to listen and not always try to be the boss. She realized that having a lot of money wasn't the same as having a big heart. One day, Simbi told her mother, I was wrong. It wasn't my husband's fault. It was all mine. I forgot to be kind and respectful. Her mother hugged her, happy to see that Simbi now understood. Simbi learned a big lesson. Being happy doesn't require having a lot of money or being in charge. Happiness comes from being kind, sharing, and respecting others. Now that she had learned her lesson, will she find a good husband? What do you think? Simbi's story is a reminder that the key to a happy life and a happy marriage lies not in the wealth or the status of your partner, but in love, respect, and understanding you share. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please show us your support by subscribing, like, and share. Until next time, bye.